Vikings' biggest needs heading into the offseason. All right, welcome back to One Bar Lupagus Show. I'm One Bar with Lupagus, and we are talking needs.
Why are you talking so erotic there?
I can't help it.
You got real sexy on me. I wasn't ready for that. Yes, I thought we already did this, but turns out we have not yet. We're talking about the three biggest needs on the Minnesota Vikings, looking at the roster as it stands today, February 10th, 2022.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll be doing these a few times as the roster changes, but we're taking into consideration the free agents for sure. But yes, Hitman, Kirk Cousins, all these guys are still on the roster. So biggest needs as of now. Before we get into that, remember, subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 6,000 subs.
Yeah, let's do it. Why not? And let's start with the biggest need. Why not we start with the number one need, in my opinion, that this team has, and that's the cornerback position. You look at where it is right now, you got aging veterans who are probably not going to be back, and you got inexperienced guys who just haven't proven themselves yet. Cam Dantzler is probably going to be forced into a starting role. Very hit or miss last year. And then behind him is horrifying. Harrison Hand, no experience. Chris Boyd has looked terrible at times. And that's pretty much it. So very thin, no real stud. Nobody you can rely on here at the cornerback group. And to me, that's need number one for this team.
Yeah, we got Hand, Dantzler, Boyd. That's it. It's disgusting. It's terrifying. Very terrifying. And they're not going to only have to hit on this once. They're going to have to hit on this a few times. So clearly, the number one thing that sticks out is the draft. There will be some cornerbacks. There should be one of those top three cornerbacks on the board at 12. It's just a matter if they see the value there. And then when you look at free agency, not so much. So let's start with the draft quick.
Yeah, looking at pick 12, I mean, obviously everybody's all in love with Sauce Gardner because, his name is Sauce and he's damn good. He's huge. He can come up and hit. He can cover. Derek Stingley is another guy you can look at there. You see him going as high as 4 at times, but then you see him available at 12. And a guy who's kind of creeping up draft boards, who I think you also got thrown in a mix is this Trent McDuffie character. So those are the three options. Andrew Booth is all over the board. I'm not sure what to think of him yet. A little more evaluation needs to happen with that guy. But you got 4 potential options, 3 good ones here. And I think the way the draft's looking right now, I think you address that first, look for your help, maybe at a pass rush round 2 or something. But I fully expect pick 12. I mean, if you're betting on where they're going to go, I think quarterback has to be the front runner.
Yeah, when you look at the cornerback class, it's like one of these 3 to get a starting good cornerback or nothing. I mean, if you wait till round 2, round 3, you're adding depth. This isn't a draft where you could possibly get a steal in round 2 and all season a day 1 starter. So if they're all in on a corner, it's got to be a pick 12. Otherwise, they're not really squashing the need.
Yeah, and we're going to hop into more free agent options down the road. But you look at, what are they going to be able to afford? Maybe not a huge name guy, or maybe a guy who was once a big name who's, career starting to dwindle down. You get him on a 1-year deal. You're going to have to probably get one of those guys again, a 1-year veteran, a short-term contract to help out, add some veteran presence. Because, if Harrison Smith goes, you don't have Patrick Peterson around anymore. You're going to have somebody back there who knows their shit, can help these young guys get lined up, especially if a rookie is going to be one of your starters.
Yeah, it could be One Bar and Lupagus as your starting cornerbacks this year. I feel like I would have a couple interceptions, a couple good hits, but my PFF score would be very bad.
I'd be the Anderson Dejo corners. I'd just be taking guys out.
Patrick Peterson, Desmond King, Sidney Jones. Those are the names we're looking at for free agency. So hit that thing on the draft. Let's go to another need. What else we got?
Let's go to the interior offensive line. We're going to group this together because guard center, that's one position that, maybe one guy plays both of these. It's interchangeable at times. A lot of times the guys who play guard can play center. But you look at Garrett Bradbury. I mean, we all know Garrett Bradbury just hasn't been able to do it. He is a bust, whether you want to admit it or not. But I think most Vikings fans are more than willing to admit that. And then the right guard position, is it going to be Wyatt Davis? Or we don't know what Wyatt Davis brings to the table. Was he hurt? Was he in Zimmer's doghouse? Is he just not very good? I don't know. We never saw it, so it's hard to make an opinion on that.
Yeah, and again, this is another one with the draft. It's Tyler Linderbaum, the center, or Zion Johnson. And after that, there isn't these guys that are just you can feel comfortable with going in week 1. So I'm on the choo-choo train. Like, let's bring in somebody. Doesn't have to be number in the first 2 rounds or a top free agent. Let's bring Mason Cole back. Let's see what we got in Wyatt Davis, and I would be happy with that.
That seems like the best solution right now. And then maybe you look to add some, I would say 4th round, but don't have, but 3rd guy, round 3 guys, maybe round 5 guys, somebody who can come in and compete, give you that depth. But yeah, if you had Mason Cole starting, I think that'd be okay. And let's see what we have in Wyatt Davis. Let's give the guy a shot. I mean, shit, this guy this time last year, he was seen as a top 15 pick. Yes, he got hurt and things just kind of went downhill from there for him, but he's a talented player, comes from, bloodlines. He's got everything going for him. I want to see Wyatt Davis, and I want to see him now.
And I want to see Mason Cole resign. That is going to be a big offseason signing. Not that I think he's the future or anything, but just that versatility, guard, center. You can play in a pinch. Let's bring Mason Cole back. Let's bring him home.
And I think we both agree, well, he shouldn't start. I mean, Garrett Bradbury's probably going to still be on this team as a depth piece. I don't know if they'll flat out cut him. Maybe they can get someone who believes in him. If Rick Spielman goes somewhere and, hey, we can get this really good center in Minnesota that I know, Garrett Bradbury, then maybe you move him. But why not keep him around as some depth?
Oh, he'll be around. I wouldn't be surprised if he's actually not starting unless they go big and bring somebody in. Maybe the blocking scheme will change. Maybe we get these big beefy dudes next to him whooping little ass, and Bradbury is at least formidable.
Well, he does have 2 career receptions, so maybe move this guy out to tight end.
Oh, we need some tight end depth, but that's not on the list. Our final top need, as always, comments. Let us know what you think the biggest need. And don't say a quarterback because Kirk Cousins is gone. That's cheating. Kirk Cousins is still on this team.
He is still on this team, but I think we both agree here, edge rusher. We need an edge rusher, and we need one bad.
Yeah, if we're switching to a 3-4 defense, I mean, we needed some pass rush help anyways, but especially if we're going to a 3-4, this could look completely different, this defense. And again, going back to the draft, you got guys like David Ojabo from Michigan. You got Jermaine Johnson, the hot name from Florida State. George Karlaftis from Purdue. Those are the big names at pick 12 for it.
Yeah, and you look at the depth chart right now, DJ Wanham, he looks like a guy who would exceed in that role, excel in that role as the 3-4 outside linebacker, rushing the quarterback. Dino Hunter, I mean, I think you can put this guy anywhere and he'll succeed, but is he going to be on the team? We don't know at this point. He's had injury prone with the neck and last year with the pec. So anything that ends in CK, he's probably going to hurt. So his cock will be next. And then but even Wanham, I mean, he was so up or down last year. I don't know if you can rely on that guy. And then you got these question marks behind them. What do we have in Patrick Jones? How does he fit in a 3-4? Janarius Robinson, we have no idea what we got in that guy. You got to have depth. And then somebody
you're forgetting, show some respect here.
Kenny Willekes, again, I don't know how he fits on this team either. So do you have guys who fit this scheme? I don't know. You got to look at an edge rusher. If you don't go cornerback 12, I think you have to look at that edge guy if that's Ojabo or Johnson or whoever it is. But that's the other way you got to go.
Yeah, and again, free agency, there's some bigger names that are going to cost big bucks, but when you look at middle of the road, you're looking at guys like Arden Key and Tack McKinley.
Yeah. And after Tack McKinley,
George Karlaftis is actually a pretty hot name with the Vikings, and it seems like he's a guy that can get after it. He's not going to wall you with his athletic ability, but that's a name that I think we should be getting familiar with.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's not really the prototypical, doesn't have the length, doesn't have the long, gangly arms, but the guy does have some fire, does have a motor, and hey, we need all the help we can get. If George Karlaftis can get after the quarterback, I will George Karlove him.
Yeah, and like you said, Kenny Willekes, big key to this Super Bowl run we're going to be doing here soon.
But yeah, once we get the official word, we're going to 3-4. We'll probably take a look at how these guys fit, who's in, who's out, because it's a tough transition to make, and no, not everybody fits in this certain defense, so it could be a lot more trimming to do.
Wow, you need a lot of trimming to do down south. I've seen it. I know firsthand. But like I said, comments below, top needs. What are we hitting on? Who do you want coming home?
All right. While you guys are writing down the top needs for the Vikings, remember this. French was the official language of England for around 300 years.